Okay, we are getting ready to start, so let's try to fill in all the seats if possible. Those who need to sit for an hour, please grab a chair. And for those who can stand an hour, please stand in back. And if there are any free chairs, you can fill in after we start, okay?
Hey, Rob, I want to ask you. Rob, listen. Okay, I'm gonna. I'll let you. Let me just grab Laura. Okay. She okay? Okay, if you all want to fill in the seats, that's fine. And there's some seats up here for speakers. If you want to sit up here. Laura, you want to sit here? You're okay? Okay. Well, we have the pleasure of having the cicadas with us this morning as well, part of God's creation. I want to welcome and thank you and everyone for taking time from your lives this morning to attend this prayer service in remembrance of Muhammad's 5th anniversary, or the 5th anniversary of Muhammad's passing. And I know if Muhammad were here, and I can tell you that he is with us this morning, because many of us here have had those experiences since his passing that let us know that Muhammad's spirit, his energy, his voice, and even his wicked sense of humor is still with us. I want to acknowledge Imam Iqbal Wasif from the Louisville Islamic Center. Thank you, Imam, who was kind enough to join us this morning to conduct the prayer service. And even though we are gathered this morning to offer prayers for and remember Muhammad as we mark this 5th anniversary, we also are here and gathered to remind ourselves and others of the life Muhammad led and the legacy he left. I should tell everybody, phones off, please. Yeah, that's okay. We forget. I think it would be fair to say that Muhammad inspired all of us here, not just by the words he spoke, but by the way he lived and the example he set. Muhammad never allowed himself to get mired down in differences in political or social ideologies, religious differences, petty jealousies, or even hate. He always managed to rise above, to have faith and see the light in the darkest of situations or people. Muhammad was an eternal optimist, but by divine design, he was a confirmed believer in God's greatest creation, man. Emboldened by his faith in God and the basic tenets of Islam and all religions, love, love, love. Love thy neighbor as thyself. Muhammad never doubted good could triumph over evil, and that even as much as a spark of humanity existed in all of us. It was that spark that Muhammad chose to focus on, what he connected to, what made people want to keep his company, bask in his warmth of his smile and the magnetic power of his presence. It was his belief in our common humanity that allowed us to witness something we may never see again, the thousands of people from all over the world who descended on this city 5 years ago, on June 10th, to pay homage and final respects to a man who chose love over hate, compassion and empathy over disdain and apathy. Muhammad leaves a legacy worth remembering, but also one worth living. He set the example for all of us while he was alive, and he continues to set that example now. More than ever, We all need to be like Muhammad. And I will be the first to admit how hard it is to be like Muhammad and see the humanity in all people, those we know and those we don't, those we think we share nothing in common with. We too need to see that we tend to forget the humanity in all people, the thread, no matter how thin and fragile, that binds us. We and they are as much a part of God's creation as each one of you. I leave you with something Muhammad used to say often. We need to be in a race to do good every day, with the grace of God. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Laura Douglas, Interim President and CEO of the Muhammad Ali Center. Thank you all very much for your attendance this morning, and welcome to this morning's Remembrance Ceremony, marking the 5th anniversary of Muhammad Ali's passing. I also want to thank Lonnie, Mrs. Ali, for inviting all of us and giving us an opportunity to participate in this morning's service. We're living through a time when empathy and a sense of community are in high demand. Many of the social and political challenges we face could be favorably impacted if we all simply acknowledge the commonality of the human experience. Certainly, Muhammad Ali lived his life in a manner which showed his belief in the brotherhood and sisterhood of humanity. In addition, Muhammad also lived his life in a manner which not only inspired all of us to be our best selves, but also showed us the life-transforming impact of confidence, conviction, dedication, giving, respect, and spirituality. 5 years ago when Muhammad passed, the community came together to mourn his passing. We lined the roadways here in his hometown to catch one last glimpse of the champ as he journeyed here to Cave Hill. The entire city was filled with a sense of unity and peace. At the Ali Center, we received 25,000 visitors in just that 1 week. Family, friends, mourners, fans from around the world, and we welcomed neighbors from our community of Louisville who came to respect the city's favorite son. The center staff was overwhelmed by the curiosity and kindness of our visitors and pleased that they left the center and the city of Louisville with a deeper knowledge of Muhammad's life and legacy. We always like to say the Ali Center is the only place in the world whose mission is to preserve and share the legacy and ideals of Muhammad Ali. Now, 5 years later, our mission is even more important. The Ali Center was always intended to be a community gathering place, and so we welcome the community to stop by this week as we mark our 5th annual Ali Festival with a host of events that celebrate Muhammad's life. Today, as we assembled here together again, let's renew that same sense of peace, unity, and purpose we all showed together 5 years ago. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. I want to thank Lonnie and the entire Ali family, to Laura Douglas, the Ali Center for organizing this beautiful ceremony, and certainly Gwen Mooney and all the team here at the beautiful Cave Hill. And thank you all for giving the many people who love Muhammad a chance to pay respects today with a rose. It's a perfect symbol for our city's and the world's love for Muhammad, as we saw 5 years ago during the procession that brought him right here to his final resting place. None of us who experienced that moment will ever forget it. The rose petals that covered the entrance to Cave Hill, the hood and windshield of the hearse covered with flowers, people waving the flag, honoring Muhammad as the great American hero and patriot that he was. People of all ages and colors and backgrounds and from all over the world, blowing kisses, shouting thank yous, just wanting to touch the hearse, to feel an even greater last connection to the champ. The chants from people along Bardstown Road, through downtown, and especially in West Louisville. Ali, Ali, Ali. And then when we got to Grand Avenue, where the champ had grown up, there were people shoulder to shoulder. As Lawrence Montgomery said, they just went off. There was this feeling of joy and love and homecoming. And from my perspective in the procession, it felt like we were literally floating down the street on a sea of love. The unity and compassion that our city showed in the 7 days between Muhammad's passing on June 3rd and his burial here on June 10th is something our entire city is proud of and incredibly grateful to have experienced. The story of Ali Week is something we've been working with a variety of partners over the last 5 years to tell in the documentary, the film documentary, The City of Ali, whose world premiere is tonight at the Ali Center. And part of that story, of course, is that so many people from Metro government as well as the Ali Center and many other partners throughout the city literally worked around the clock to make that week the success it was, to honor the integrity and respect that the champ deserved. It's also no exaggeration to say that Ali Week 2016 was one of the greatest moments, not just in the history of our city, but I think in the history of our country and the world as well. And the memory of that week is one of Muhammad's many enduring gifts to the people of Louisville and the world. We didn't know how that week was going to turn out. I think Muhammad did. And boy, the city delivered. And that gift has only become more precious in the years since, because we need the message of Muhammad more than ever in this world and in this country. Muhammad fought against racial justice. He fought for understanding. Muhammad fought against racial injustice. He fought for understanding and peace amongst people of different faiths, backgrounds, and nationalities. The Breonna Taylor tragedy here in Louisville and the demonstrations for racial justice that we experienced this past year, along with the overall rise in hate crimes we've seen nationally, serve as painful reminders that the bell has not yet rung on the fight against Muhammad's and humanity's fiercest opponent, hatred. And in fact, we have many rounds left to go. This is a fight that takes all of us, but it's a fight that we can and we will win. And when I look around our community, I see greater resolve and a sense of common purpose to take on and win this fight than at any time I can remember. I see people who understand Muhammad's words that, quote, service to others is the rent you pay for your room in heaven and here on earth. Muhammad chose eloquent words and a beautiful place for this final rest, knowing that those who loved him would come here as they have by the hundreds of thousands over these past 5 years. Visiting a cemetery is always a reminder that eventually the bell rings for all of us. And if we're lucky, when it does, maybe there will be people who want to honor our memory with roses. We never know how many days there are between now and then, but as we reflect on the incredible celebration of Muhammad's life, let us renew our commitment to lift up once another and make all of our remaining days count. Thank you, Muhammad, and thank you all.
Today marks 5 years since my grandfather's passing, and on what is a day that normally for me is one of the most difficult days of the year, I can at least find some solace in the fact that I am here with all of you in the town where my grandfather was born and raised and grew up. My grandfather was a man filled with love for himself. It would only take talking to him for about 30 seconds to figure out that fact before he started calling himself pretty or the world's greatest. But it's important to note that when he said that, he wasn't just saying that for himself. Because at his core, my grandfather was a man of the people. My grandfather was a man who loved other people. And when he called himself beautiful, and when he called himself great, he said that very much as a black man in a country that told him that he should not believe such. And when he said those things, he said things for the people of this world who've been told that they are not beautiful, they are not great, and for them to remember to persevere through that injustice at all times. My grandfather loved each and every person he met. He would treat everybody the same, whether you were here to deliver food or you were a famous movie star over at the house. He made no difference. And it's important to note that for my grandfather, a lot of that ability to overlook differences amongst people, whether it be race, creed, nationality, social status, and more, came down to his faith in God. Because in the eyes of God, in the eyes of Allah, in the eyes of the Most High, all of our differences become so minuscule that they cannot be seen. I want to tell a story that a little boy once asked my grandfather, what are you going to do now that you've retired from boxing? And my grandfather said, I'm going to spend the rest of my life getting ready to meet God. He said, God doesn't care that I beat Joe Frazier. God doesn't care about all these achievements I've had in the ring. God cares about how you treat people. God cares about how you take care of people. So that's what I'm going to spend the rest of my life doing. I'm going to spend the rest of my life getting ready to meet God. And that's exactly what my grandfather did. He spent the rest of his life getting ready to meet God. And that's exactly what he's done now as we're here today. So I'd like to say that I hope we can honor his legacy and take his legacy with him and with us at all times, in the sense that we spend the rest of our lives getting ready to meet God as well. In the Quran it says that even an atom's weight of good will be seen. Even if you do just the smallest acts of good will be noted. My grandfather spent his life doing acts of good, great, small, no matter the size. Always go out of your way to take care of one another. And if I may say, I believe that is the best way to honor his legacy here today. Thank you.
How you guys doing? My name is Sean Ali Waddell. I'm a cousin of Muhammad Ali. And I wear that with honor and with dignity. And there's not a day that goes by when I do not think about him as a man, as an individual, as a human being. But being born on the west side of Louisville, I think of him as a young Clay, as a young black boy where I was born, with ambitions and dreams and hopes to make the world better, to believe that he is somebody. A spiritual mentor of mine who spoke at the funeral of Muhammad Ali, Reverend Cosby, said he took the ethos of somebodyness to unheard of heights. What does somebodyness mean for African American people? It means everything, because for 400 years we've been told that we're nobody. So for Muhammad Ali to walk with his back tall, not to say a word, but his presence. I heard Lonnie say his presence alone. To see a black man in the 60s walk with his clean cut face and his suit erect, his back's tall, his shoulders back, he was proud because he knew who he was. I was born in 2000, not in the 50s or 60s. And still, I struggled growing up, not knowing who I am or where I'm from or what I am. It was Ali through Rahman. How you doing, Rock? Walaikum assalam. And my grandfather, Jan Waddell, otherwise known as Janal Ali, who reinstilled in me to love myself and to know myself. My grandfather, who I'm looking at right now, has always told me the stories of Muhammad, telling him as a young boy, not only how he was going to go win his fights, but what he was winning his fights for. How before he would step in the ring sometimes, he'd have someone come up to him and say, he would go up to someone and tell him, hey, can you come and remind me about the struggle of our people? Remind me of what we've been through. And it was with that feeling of passion and purpose, Muhammad would step in the ring with lightning and passion and power in his fists, thinking about us. Because he said, when I win the heavyweight championship and I walk down the streets in Louisville, the little wino in the alley, the little brother on the street says, I have a champion. That's my Ali. Ali belongs to the world. Ali belongs to humanity. He belongs to us all. But as we look at the world today, as we look at the United States, as we look at Louisville, I said before the world that Muhammad Ali and his legacy, Muhammad Ali as a man, matters more seemingly than ever before. Everything Muhammad fought for has been highlighted right before our eyes in our time. Anti-Islam or Islamophobia as a rise, white nationalism, bigotry, hatred. Muhammad spent his whole life fighting against it. And if as a world we could look at Muhammad, his legacy and his life, we could become a better world. Jacob, you took the little quote I was going to take from Muhammad today. I watched that interview this morning when he told Joe Frazier, England, America, your wealth, Joe Frazier, you beating me beating you, it means nothing if it's not our service to God. God is the greatest, no matter what you call him. And it's our service to God that matters more than anything. I was reading around in the Quran last night just to find some inspiration. And I came across a part that says, speak not of those who have died in the way of God as dead, for they are alive, but you perceive it not. Muhammad not only died in the way of God, but he lived in the way of God. Service to others is the rent that you pay for the room on earth. That's how I want to live. That's how I try to live. When I stand up for justice, when I stand up for the hurt, like my cousin Jacob here today too, carrying forth the legacy in motion today, it's because service to others is the greatest love of all. I love you, Muhammad. I love you, family. Thank you. May peace be with you.
Assalamu alaikum.
Well, let me say a few words for him. Muhammad's brother knows better than any of us because he had the wonderful opportunity to grow up with this man and witness him becoming the adult and the humanitarian, the world humanitarian, global humanitarian that he became. He was with him at his side. He watched his career. He watched how hard he worked and how he treated people. And Rock, too, has that soft heart like their mother. Rock, we love you. You, too, are remembrance of Muhammad. As long as we have you, we have a part of him with us on this earth.
Assalamu alaikum, which means may peace be with you. Muhammad. I love my brothers so much. He was a saint. You all know he was a saint. He never tried to hurt no one. Never talk bad about people. I always try to help people. He had a good heart. Told me to say the nice thing. If I say something bad about someone, it's a rock don't say that we love all people. I love you all, God's people. We'll all be in heaven together one day. May God bless you all. I love you all. May God bless you. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. May peace and blessings be upon all of you. This had made me pretty emotional, and then I think Brother Rahman has made it a little more. It really, you think about 5 years ago, a lot of times we forget, even in the background, as I, as an imam, was dealing with people from the UK that were trying to come here for the janazah, for the funeral of our brother, beloved Muhammad Ali, rahimahullah, may peace and blessings be upon him. And really, it was the month of Ramadan, right? A day, the month that we would fast from morning to night. And then now you have buses coming in from Michigan, from Florida, from Texas, and really, and you have to think about the arrangements behind it as well, because they're not eating from morning to night. And obviously at nighttime, you have hundreds of people that are staying over at the mosque. It was something that really is inspirational, something that really changed even a Muslim community at the core when our brother passed away, when the whole city went behind our brother Muhammad Ali, rahimahullah. Many things are to be said, and many things have been said. But one of the things that I would like to mention is we talk about the legacy of Muhammad Ali, rahimahullah. And I keep saying rahimahullah because it is a way of showing respect and honor to those that have moved on and passed away. And really, it's not a hidden secret. It is not something which is not known of what he stood up for and how he acted. And subhanAllah, one of the things driving here, I was, the rain, it was quite hard this morning. And in our tradition, the Islamic faith, we believe rain is a sign of mercy. Rain is a sign of mercy, because if the rain is taken away for days, for weeks, for months, what do we have left? So this is a sign of mercy. And subhanAllah, when I was driving, I was thinking, everyone looks down upon it. Everyone thinks, we have to be crowded in a tent or driving or get our shoes muddy and so on and so forth. But this is a sign from God that the acceptance and the mercy that is being showered on him today. But really, when we talk about this legacy, and if you remember back in history, the Muslims, the first settlers, the ones that came first, were known as Muhammadans, right? They were known as Muhammad, people that follow our Prophet Muhammad, may peace and blessings be upon him, right? And that's what they were known as, right? Even though there was Islam, the Islamic tradition, and the faith, but Muhammad because of who we followed. Now the question comes, and I had much more to say, but we all understand his legacy, is, are we willing, not from the Islamic tradition, if we follow, whichever God we follow, whichever prophets we follow and believe in, are we ready to be a Muhammadan for Muhammad Ali, rahimahullah? What he stood for, right? A lot of times, it's easy to say words, it's easy to, even put out a post, write up a few words, but the question comes is, are we willing to make those sacrifices? Are we willing to stand up like he did and take even punishment, right? That is the question, because many times we will say it, but if our livelihood is going to go away, if we are going to be punished or looked down upon, if there's backlash, we would immediately, slowly turn away. But he did not. He did not. He stood up, right? And he showed us what we need to do. Imagine he was here today and now. He is with us through his legacy, through his teachings, through who he was. But imagine he was here right now in the physical sense. You think he would be turning away? You think he would be sitting down? Do you think he would not be standing up with the loudest voice of all? I am the greatest, and this is what I stand for. Imagine he was there in the social media age, right? Where things are becoming viral, even though some of it does not even make sense. And what he stood for made the most sense, right? Imagine that we can have another one that follows his legacy. Which one of it is it going to be? Is it going to be me? Is it going to be you? Or is it going to be someone else? Because that's what we keep doing. Who is going to be that who is going to stand up, be together, and stand for what he stood for? Because that's what we need today and now. We talk about his legacy. We talk about his quotes. I have, so many quotes here. Obviously, the main one that we see on his gravesite, right? Nothing can be more important than that principle of service to others. But really, when you talk about life every day as if it was your last, live every day as if it's your last, because someday you're going to be right. Right? Ask yourself, are we living that type of life that tomorrow we may not be standing here today? And to continue on, I have the greatest victory in life is to rise above the material thing that we once valued most. Think about that, right? What are we all chasing? If it was for God, if it's for the service of other, that would take the priority, that would take more importance than chasing after what we chase after. Truly great people in history never wanted to be great for themselves. All they wanted was the chance to do good for others and be close to God. I can go over quote after quote, and it really shows who Muhammad Ali rahimahullah was, what he stood for, and what his legacy is. And once again, I pose that question, that are we going to be a Muhammadan? And I'm not talking about from the Islamic tradition, but more of his legacy, which was the Islamic tradition. Are we going to be that follows his legacy? Are we going to be those that just say mere words, but yet our life does not change to the way that Muhammad Ali had changed and inspired every single one of us? So with that being said, I'll recite a few verses of the Quran and close off with a prayer. And really, this is something from our tradition that whenever we come visit anyone who has passed along, to recite Surah Fatiha and the opening chapter and a few short chapters of the Quran, and really to ask forgiveness for a showering of mercy and grace upon Muhammad Ali rahimahullah. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. ألف لام ميم ذلك الكتاب لا ريب فيه هدى للمتقين الذين يؤمنون بالغيب ويقيمون الصلاة ومما رزقناهم ينفقون والذين يؤمنون بما أنزل إليك وما أنزل من قبلك وبالآخرة هم يوقنون أولئك على هدى من ربهم وأولئك هم المفلحون. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد أحد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل أعوذ برب الفلق من شر ما خلق ومن شر غاسق إذا وقب ومن شر النفاثات في العقد ومن شر حاسد إذا حسد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل أعوذ برب الناس ملك الناس إله الناس من شر الوسواس الخناس الذي يوسوس في صدور الناس من الجنة والناس. Oh God, we appreciate the time that you have given us with Muhammad Ali rahimahullah. Now he is with you. We ask you to bless him, to shower him with your divine mercy and grace. Our Lord, we ask you to bless his soul and his grave with your light, and to bless his family and all of his children, everyone he has left behind. We ask, O Lord, or God, bless every single one of them and give them all company together in heaven. We thank you, O God, for all the blessings that we have been going through, but we ask you to grant us his legacy. We ask us to give us the opportunity to continue his legacy. We ask you for his ethics. We ask you for his compassion. We ask you for his love. We ask you for his sacrifice, his dedication. We ask you to be him, to make us our role model, to be like him, to live our life through his legacy, through his teachings. We ask you to grant us his principles, his values, his standards, to be the norm for us, for our city, for the entire world. Oh God, we will all return to you. We ask you to bless us with the best of life in this world and the best of life in the hereafter. And we ask that you grant Muhammad Ali the highest abode in paradise. Ameen. Bless you all. Thank you.
Well, Muhammad would really have a hard time with these masks. You know, not for political reasons, because it would just cover up too much pretty with him. So, you know, people ask me often, they say, you know, what is it about Muhammad that made him so special? And it is hard to define, and a lot of us have detailed what we think that is, but I think a lot of it, and I think you would agree, is authenticity, being real, you know, being comfortable in your own skin, and he was that to the core. Whether it was his convictions or his love for people, it came out and it was real. I mean, Coca-Cola, you know, advertisement, they all want to be the real thing. But Muhammad was that. He was the real thing. You know, we've talked about 5 years of passing. And when I reflect, I realize now, and I thought this would be true, that it won't be his boxing titles or his global fame that we'll all remember. What will stand the test of time is his impact on the world. We all have personal memories of Muhammad, and Muhammad certainly impacted our minds in a personal way and our hearts in a personal way. But the next mountain for us to climb, I believe, is what impact will he have on our actions? The goal for all of us now, I think, is to move Muhammad from hero status to mentor and teacher. We need to, you know, go from the admiration of his actions to determination in our actions, in our very personal actions. Muhammad used his platform as heavyweight champ of the world and became a champion of justice, peace, and of human dignity. He went from fighting Joe Frazier and George Foreman to fighting racism, fighting inequality, and fighting poverty. Muhammad often told the world that he was pretty, and there are thousands of photographs to prove that that were true. But we all soon discovered that Muhammad's kind of pretty went beyond skin deep. Because of his actions, Muhammad made the world a prettier place. Sadly, there's still a lot of ugly in the world. So I think Muhammad calls us all to action today. Let's be pretty. Thanks.
Thank you, everyone, for coming, and this concludes our service. Go about your day in peace and remember what has been said today. Love, love, love. Treat others as you would like to be treated. And as John said, he's gone from hero to mentor and teacher. Let's go spread some pretty. Okay? Thank you.
Get some last pictures before everybody heads out.
Beautiful remarks.
They were all beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm back. We'll see you tonight.
Yes.
Anytime. Thanks.
You mind if I take a little picture?
Up with Dr.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Wish that car one thing.
Oh, no, you go right there. That's because we get so many. Thank you.
Absolutely, yes. We have 1,000 of them.
Hey, Jeannie, what time is the second?
Would you do what I said?
Let me see if you have to touch base. It's probably going to be difficult because I'm already having to work.
I will be.
I got some stuff and you
Might be tight. It's fine. Let me see. It's just because it's.
We're way over capacity, but you just. And the reception is at 7:30. You're invited to 5:30, 7:30, anytime.
I'll see what's going on. I really appreciate it. So how does this work? Like it's going to be shown.
Yeah. Yes. I'm through the 13th every single day.
Oh, okay. So I can reach out to you. I appreciate everything. Good to see you.
So my name is Jeannie. Jeannie. I will definitely do that. You're going back to the center. Hold on one second. Yeah. Hold on.
Just give me a number, then I'll see.
Okay, 502.
440?
Yes. 477.
I appreciate it. When if I can make it to that one, I'll call. Thank you.
Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, probably.
In the Ollie Suites. Are you in the Ollie Suites today? Yeah, well, KJ will have to be there for that. And Casey, I'll call Casey when I'm finished taking photos right here. Do you need anybody? No. You don't want to take a step from you. She wants to help you. I want to help everyone.
Yeah, that's her.
No. Are you there? I'm Beth.
Oh, I'm sorry, Beth.
I've never met you.
I'm
I know
sorry.
Roger. No, you're fine. No.
Hey Beth.
You are.
I'm John.
I remember you.
How are you, Don? Yes, of course. I've seen you thousands of times.
Oh, I know. Bless your
This
heart.
is my wife, Karen.
Hello.
Very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. I'm Max, by the way. I know that handshake.
So are we, yes.
Okay, right now. So but it's habit, you know.
All right,
Super. Well, I'm excited for the night.
Yeah, I think you're gonna like it. It's really.
I'll be there. I'm gonna try to see one of the viewings, but I'm also like working.
Oh, okay. Yes,
So
see
I
you
have to
tonight.
take photos of the event.
We keep
Really
pushing,
appreciate
man.
it,
Keep
what
the
you
faith.
said.
Don't worry.
have to stay positive.
All right. Well, there's all kinds of reasons. Don't worry.
Right.
You want to introduce yourself behind?
That's right.